What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and let's talk about the bare minimum that you're gonna need to start playing D&D. Wizards of the Coast is who basically makes D&D, and they are gracious enough to allow you to download the free basic rules, which is great. That's the bare minimum that you're gonna need to start playing today if you want to start playing today. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to learn still, but if you want the basic rules, that's it. I will put a link down below to where you can download those rules. You can print them out. It's a lot of stuff. When I first started, I printed it out and I was just like, I was surprised. I was surprised at how much it was. I think that there are easier ways to learn than just read out of a book. Obviously, just absorbing as much as you can from watching videos, watching maybe a couple of people playing, like a few different streams of different groups playing, just to kind of get a feel of how it works, how other people play, because you'll go from one table to another table and it's completely different. So basic rules, that's the beginning. Now, if you want to spend a little bit of money, there are two options. There's the Lost Minds of Phandelver and the Essentials kit. I have both of them, and I would say that the Essentials kit is the newer one. It has some cool Sidekicks stuff in there. I do think that it is a better kit than the Lost Minds of Phandelver, but I love the Lost Minds of Phandelver. I love the adventure. I think it's really good. Now, the Essentials kit is more of like a random quest type thing where you go to a quest board and you pick up some quests and you go do the quests. It's a little bit more free form in that way, a little bit less focused when it comes to the story for it. It could be a little bit easier to run because you don't have as much setup as you do with Lost Minds. Lost Minds basically has a story structure. It's not on rails, but it is pretty much, there's a story. There's a line that you want to go down. You can diverge and come back, but there is an overall more focused story. I think that that the Essentials kit also has a story, but it's a little bit more freeform. You can kind of go do this quest, like a high-level quest almost right at the beginning, and then you can go back and do a lower-level quest now that you're stronger, and it can get a little bit confusing, but I still think it comes with more. Nowadays, it is pretty much the same price. I'll put a link to both the Essentials kit and the Lost Minds. They will be affiliate links on Amazon, so if you do buy them, it does help out the channel. If you end up getting the basic rules, you're going to need a set of die. Technically, you don't need a set of die, but if you don't want to buy dice, you can literally, I think Google has a dice roller, but it's so annoying to have to click, oh, I want to roll 2 d20s and then roll it. It's very annoying. Die are pretty cheap on Amazon as well. You can get like a 6-pack or something, like 6 sets for, I think I paid like $10 or something like that for a bunch. So basically what I did is I bought a whole set, and everybody in the group got two sets of die. So is it die or dice? These are all the different types of die that you're going to need. The 20-sided die is going to be the one that you're going to use the most. It's going to be most of your decision making and investigations and attacks. It's going to be with a 20. The 20 is going to be your main thing. If you're going to get one die, it's going to be the D20, okay? But you still need the other ones because spells, different types of attacks, different types of weapons are all going to use different ones. If you get one of these kits, they do come with a whole set of die. The Essentials actually comes with some extra D6s, 4 D6s, and 2 D20s, which you need if you're rolling with advantage or disadvantage, but that is for another day. we'll talk about that in the future. But this kit is pretty good. Comes with a whole set. I know this kit's been around for a while, but if you're watching this video, you're probably new to D&D, and this is where we're going to start, okay? It also comes with these cards, which is, it's kind of weird, but I mean, I guess for like a beginner, it's really good because this has all of like the conditions and stuff. So, and then on the back, it tells you what it does. And I'm gonna be honest with you, occasionally I'll be like, okay, you're grappled, and then the player asks me, okay, what does grappled do? And I'm like, oh shoot, let me look this up really quick. So these are really cool because especially if you're starting, it will tell you exactly what each thing is. Let's say incapacitated, right? An incapacitated creature cannot take actions or reactions. That's it. And I just realized these are all really like a nice artwork on this. Stunned, poisoned, prone, convenient. I think that these could have just been like, it could have just been like a printout because, like, you know, let's say, I guess, I mean, it's kind of rare that multiple people are poisoned or multiple people are, you know, the same condition at the same time. So I could see this. I could see this being useful. You just have all of these. Oh, it comes with a little holder too. So you know, break all those up. They're perforated. You break them all up and pop them in here, and you have all your stuff. What else is there here? Oh, petrified, invisible. All right. That's all of them. Oh, okay. And then all of the magic items that are actually in the thing is also in here. So, goggles of night, and it tells you exactly what it does. So, honestly, this is a very good kit for just beginning, right? Because it's going to give you all the stuff. There's a nice map. I just realized this is kind of becoming like a review of the Essentials kit. But there's a nice map of the Sword Coast. The Sword Coast. There's Phandalin right there. The Lost Mines of Phandelver takes place in Phandalin. So what you could actually do is you can probably run them together. It's kind of what I'm doing in my game that I'm running right now. I was running a whole nother campaign, and then the group found themselves in Phandalin, and then I'm like, hey, let's do some Phandalin quests in here. So that's what's going on right now. This is what I love about D&D, right? Or one of the things I love. I love so much. But one of the things is you just kind of go with it. Like the group goes into a place, you just make it up, and you got some stuff planned, and then you change it, and it's just like, love it. This also comes with the adventure book, obviously, but it does come with a really nice paper handout but rule book. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, this is nice. It has the conditions on the back. Oh, this would be perfect, dude. This is good job. But this has the general stuff. So this is gonna be like your basic standard rules. This is basically what you're gonna get from the free kit, except it's just in a nice little printout. Like I said, I think I picked this up for like $20 or something like that at the time. Also, it came with the Essentials kit from D&D Beyond and the expansions that go along with it, and a 50% off coupon for the player's handbook. Yep. Which that would be the next thing that I would recommend. If you want to go one step further, you want to get like all the classes that you can get, I'd probably go with the player's handbook. Oh man, this came with more stuff. Oh, okay, it came with initiative cards, I guess, so you could pass these out on people's turns, for people's turns. One of my favorite things about this Essentials kit is that it has the sidekicks. So it has like the rules for the sidekicks, and it's really cool because obviously you don't have to use these, you don't have to use these pictures, but it has basically rules for let's say a healer sidekick, and a sidekick would be an NPC, a non-player character that is either controlled by the DM or controlled by one of the other players. And what it does is it allows you to have like an extra party member, basically. So if you have a smaller group of, even if it's just you, the DM, and a player, just two people, you can technically play this. You can play D&D with just two people. I guess you could play it with just one person, but that would be very boring. And more magic items. Okay, cool. We got some, a +1 shield. Pretty nice. And it comes with the character sheets as well. You can print these out also for free. You can find them from Wizards and print them out. And it's pretty much the same as this. I will eventually go over filling out your character sheet. We can do 2 different styles because I really like D&D Beyond. They're not sponsoring anything. I just think that, like, as of right now, as of today, the middle of 2020, D&D Beyond is probably the best resource for making a character. I wish they had a tabletop, a digital tabletop that I could buy into. Because I totally would, because it would be totally worth it, and it would probably be very good, even if it started with basic stuff. That would be... Anyway, we're getting off track. We'll talk about that later. I would say that the Essentials Kit is probably your best bet. If you want to go full free, then just download the free rulebook and start there. And then come back to this channel, and we can make a character, and I could go over some basic rules with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think that's the main thing. Oh, wait, you're going to need one more thing. Friends or people you know. They don't have to be your friends, but it really helps if they're your friends. But maybe if you guys start playing D&D together, you'll become friends. Nowadays, it's super acceptable to be nerdy, which is the best. I love it. We live in a good time. We live, even though the world is ending right now pretty much, but we live in a great time, minus all the crazy stuff that's happening. But it's a great time to be a nerd, and it's a great time to play D&D, and hopefully this gets you one step closer to D&Ding it up. Now, if you have all of those things and you need more, after the player's handbook, right, you'd be looking at these 2, which technically you don't really need. I just love the art in all of these. I love looking at all the monsters and learning more about them. If you're just planning on being a player, stay away from these. Don't ever buy them. I mean, unless you just want to support Wizards, but you know, whatever. Or if you want to support my channel, I'll put a link in the description so you guys can buy it. Do yourself a favor. If you're not planning on DMing, just don't look up stuff. Don't look anything up, because it's so fun to learn as you play, to learn as your character learns. And by not looking up stuff, I mean like story stuff, and you can look up rules. Definitely learn as much as you can. Come back to this channel. There'll be more kind of educational stuff, me just blabbing on and talking nonsense. But hopefully at some point you will be playing D&D and you'll get it. Because once you get it, it's a game changer. It's mind altering. It's really good. If I had to choose between video games, or even like, I love video games, I love anime, I love movies. If I had to choose between any of them and D&D, like, I would choose D&D, definitely. Yeah, I think I would give like all of them up just so that I could continue to play D&D. Like, if somebody's like, you're never allowed to play D&D again, I would choose D&D over all of those every time, no questions. And hopefully you'll be there at some point too. Books would be a little bit different, because books are really freaking good too. Like, books, it's better than books, but books are like a very close second. You know, I mean, you need to absorb all of those other things to be able to appreciate D&D and like be thinking outside the box. So hopefully this helped you guys understand how easy it's going to be for you to get into D&D. So now that you have your basics, you have the main book, right? Let's start off with kind of a high level how D&D works. So, D&D is basically a cooperative. I didn't make this up. I've heard other people say this, and it's 100% true. It's a cooperative storytelling game. The DM, the dungeon master, the GM, the game master, whatever you want to call it, is the kind of the narrator at the beginning, the scene setter. Also, they play all of the non-player characters. So it's a lot of work, but if you do plan on DMing, you'll love it. If you can put in the time to learn and to come up with some good ideas, or just follow pre-written adventure, it's worth it. Let's say I'm setting up a scene. I'm explaining to you where you are, how the weather is. You don't really have to go that crazy, but who's around you, what's been going on, and you guys as players would decide what you want to do at that point. Let's say you throw you in a tavern, right? That's where everybody starts. Not literally, but it's a cliche, classic. Nothing wrong with it. But some people don't like it. I think it's fine. But you start in a tavern. Everybody's hanging out. You know, you're maybe eating or drinking or hanging out with your friends. And the classic cliche thing is the quest giver walks in. They're not called the quest giver, but you know they're in trouble, or a noble comes in and is looking for adventurers to help him with a problem that he has. As a player, you now decide what you want to do. Do you want to go and talk to this person? Do you want to go punch him in the face? Do you want to rob the tavern you're in? Or do you want to tip the bartender? I don't know. You do whatever you want to do. That's the best part of D&D. So now let's say you want to try to convince somebody of something. The DM would then decide what he would want you to do. Depending on how you want to go about it, do you want to be aggressive and do you want to try to intimidate that person? You would then roll an intimidation. And based on all of your stats that we haven't gone over yet, but you make stats. You have strength, you have charisma, you have intelligence, you have wisdom, dexterity. I'm missing one, constitution. And this allows you to do different things. So let's say you're charismatic. You're going to have a easier time, hopefully, persuading somebody or intimidating them. So at that point, you would roll your d20. Remember, I said the d20 is the most important one. That's the one that you're going to be rolling the most. You'd roll a d20, and based on what you were trying to do, the DM will decide if it worked or not. If it's something like you're just trying to impress somebody, and you obviously did something that was impressive, you would most likely succeed. You would have a much easier time succeeding. So again, you can do whatever you want, but by do it's more like you can attempt to do something, and based on your stats and on your rolls, luck basically, it'll decide. Obviously, the higher your stat is, the better chance you're going to have to succeed. Let's say the challenge, you have to beat a 10. So you would roll and then add your stat to it. Just high level here. You would add your stat to it and determine if you rolled higher than the 10. So let's say you rolled a 5 and your stat is 5. You rolled a 10, you succeeded, boom. You got to impress the girl. I don't know. For the most part, that's the gist of D&D. That is what you're gonna need that, and you're gonna just need an idea of things to do. Now combat is a whole nother thing, but it's still very similar to rolling a d20. If you're going to do an attack, you have to roll a d20. You're going to compare a couple of numbers. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of math, but it's really fairly easy. If you're using a digital tabletop, they'll do most of the math for you. It's amazing. It saves so much time, and like, what's 2 plus 2 again? You don't have to think about it. Granted, if that was the math, hopefully you know what that is. Hopefully now that you have a gist of the things you'll need and kind of a gist of how D&D is, and for the most part it is the best. But let's get you started with some basic rules. I'll put a link right up there to the next video in this series, so that you guys can continue to learn some more. I'm going to be trying to do maybe 1 or 2 of these a week, hopefully, for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how the videos do. If you guys like them, if you do, please leave a comment and or a like, or both, whatever you prefer. If you're not subscribed already, feel free to subscribe. It's free. So thank you guys for watching. I feel like I didn't talk enough. I didn't tell you enough about D&D. I want to keep talking, but this video will be like 30 minutes at least. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys want more of this or not. If you don't, probably still gonna make them because I like D&D. So too bad, so sad. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.